feeling today? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Just wanted to come to y'all real quick and talk about when God upgrades you and the key to your upgrade. I know all of us at some point or another has upgraded in our spirits. We've upgraded in our jobs. We've upgraded in our levels of thinking. We've upgraded in our maturity. We've upgraded in our finances. There's plenty of ways you can upgrade. And I hope this wind isn't deflecting the sound. So I'm just gonna put these up. Try to make it quick because it feels good outside. But real quick, the key to your upgrade to any of those things is the same basic formula. You steward well over what you have. Okay, so let's talk about at least the material things with this point. With financial upgrades, the job upgrade. So those two right there, the way you get those is you be humble and grateful for the job God has already given you and the financial security that God has already given you. And He will bless you with more. The more you're able to budget over your money, steward over it by helping other people out, by not being stingy, things of that nature, paying your bills on time, not splurging your finances and spending it on God knows what. God will definitely steward and give you more. God is the God of provision. Our Father, He wants to make sure we have the best in everything that we need and want at that. Literally, I want for nothing. I'm not rich, wealthy in a financial aspect yet, but I definitely believe that God has taught me over the past years how to steward over my money, and each year or each job I get increases with my finances, my pay. Each year my taxes seem to increase a little bit, or I just get blessed like randomly. God will send something my way. And I'm at the point in my life where this is the most money that I've made with all of those things. And I definitely believe that God will continue to increase His provision for me because I've learned how to steward over what He's given me financially. I'm humble, and I tell Him I'm very grateful for the finances that I have now. Anybody would love to make more, but it's like, what's your mindset when you get that more? So my mindset has always been to help people out. I always am giving out money. I'm always paying for stuff for people, never asking for it back. I send my tithes, and I don't do like $5, $10, $20, $50. Like, I tithe when I tithe. Like, yeah, it takes obedience and it takes faith to know that God will keep that cycle going. And also it takes the mindset to know that that's God's money anyway. He tells us in the Bible, when you serve your masters, aka when you go on other jobs, don't steward for them, steward and do it as unto the Lord. So when I keep that same mindset, that means that I'm working for God. So that's His money. That's His tax return. So I make sure that I give it back. And it doesn't necessarily have to always be me giving it back to a church. It can be an organization. It can be a homeless person. It could be family that needs the money who don't have it at the time, or a friend, or purchasing gifts for other people. Anything aside from spending it on myself. Confirmation. There we go. Also confirmation that I don't have on my seatbelt. Y'all gonna learn that real quick about me. Like, always making videos in the car, but never wear a seatbelt. I don't condone that. It's just a habit I gotta break. When it comes to your job, you steward well over the job that you have by trying your best to show up to work on time. Because I used to struggle with that like bad, y'all. Like the first week or two, I'd be on it. I'd be early, and then it tapers off to being on time, and then it usually tapers off to being a couple of minutes late, tapering off to being like 10 to 15 minutes late. So I had to learn how to steward over my jobs by being on time. I always was a diligent worker, so I never had any problem with slacking off at any job that I have. I always push myself. I do extra. I do what is it even asked of me? If it needs to be done, then you can count on me to do it. So I steward well with my job and my finances, so that way anytime God sees fit, once I've learned my lesson at the previous job, he'll upgrade me. And those two kind of go hand in hand. Your job isn't the only way that God can bless you through finances, but that is a big portion. You go to work, you work for your paycheck, there it is, you know. And then things like taxes, even though you work for that too, that's just an extra piece of abundance that you get in a lump sum every year. And I don't go blowing my taxes either. I at least save about half of them, and the other out of the other half of the half, I'll spend it on getting caught up on bills, or not necessarily caught up, getting ahead on bills, because my bills are always on time. Thank you, Jesus, that he gives me financial abundance to do so. So I'll go ahead and put aside 6 months to a year of my car insurance, or pay however much forward of my electric bill that I can, or put aside money for rent for the next 2 months so I can be chilling. It really, almost an accident, Jesus. So it really is about how you steward over what you have. As far as the materialistic things, I'm sorry, not the materialistic, the things that are not materialistic, like upgrading in your mental capacity, upgrading in your spirit, those things God will definitely give to you the more time you spend in those things, working on those things, doing the inner work to make sure that you're growing, you're always evolving. You never want to be stagnant, just like in a job. You don't want to be stagnant at a job making the same amount for the rest of your life. You want to increase. So the same way you want to increase externally, you should have the mindset to want to increase internally. So the way you increase your spirit is spending time in your word. You spend time reflecting on what you can do better and asking God, honestly, having accountability. What is it that I need to work on, and being receptive when he gives you the answer. Like, growth is always going to be uncomfortable. So spiritual growth and mental growth and maturity are the things that I listed, are all things that don't happen overnight. They take time, and they take dedication, and they take you being deliberate about your actions. So God will definitely upgrade you, and the more he upgrades you in those categories, the more he'll upgrade you in the materialistic category, because you'll have the mindset and the capacity to maintain the blessing that he's giving you. So it's simple, y'all. It's simple. Whatever you need to upgrade, God will upgrade it for you, but you have to steward over what you already have well as being very grateful for the things that you already have. Okay? It's real simple formula, but that doesn't mean it's a simple thing to do, especially when it comes to the internal work, because that takes you having to be honest with yourself. That takes you having to sacrifice daily to the things that your flesh wants to do. You don't think when I get paid that my flesh wants to go splurge and go out to eat, go to the movies, go a little shopping on Shine or Amazon? You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord's still trying to deliver me from Amazon. I ain't gonna lie to you, but as long as your bills and your necessities are paid first, along with God getting his back. Don't get me wrong. I don't tithe every time I get a check. But when I do, I make it count. So let's say that. Especially when God gives me a nice, healthy lump sum like taxes, that's a given. It's like, why wouldn't I tithe? And to be selfish is to say, oh, well, you know what I can do with blank, hundreds of dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's selfish. So you take care of God first by giving it back in whatever way he prompts you to give it back. You tithe over making sure that everybody else around you, if they need it, is good. Don't be a loan shark and just giving people cash all the time until you're depleted, because that's a trick of the enemy as well, where as long as you're giving it, he'll take it. So be smart about it. But God will also see that and will still upgrade you to where you need to be, where you don't have to worry about paying your bills. You don't have to worry about where your next meal gonna come from. You don't gotta worry about if your light's gonna be on, or, you know what I mean, car payments and stuff like that. So the key to the upgrade, people, is really in here. For everything that you need to upgrade, it starts in your mental. So spend most of your time upgrading your mind, upgrading your maturity. It takes a lot of time for people to grow out of certain habits and certain things, but Rome wasn't built in a day. So if you got a habit with spending, start working on your mental capacity with that. Do I really need this right now? Can it wait till next check? Is it a necessity? And I guarantee you, if you start having thinking patterns like that, God is going to see you trying, and he's going to start inching your financial abundance piece by piece until you look back a year later and you realize, wow, God, you really blessed me with an extra however much amount of money, and I wasn't even expecting it or didn't even notice it. Literally, I've been at my job 10 months. I work for the government, and my starting salary was good. It was the most money I've ever made, and I was very humble and very happy with that. However, I looked on my payroll, might as well say my payroll, the other day unexpectedly, just to see, you know, how much time I got off, and start clicking around and notice that God gave me, within the 10 months that I've been there, simultaneously, gradually gave me $6,000 more than I was making a year. Not a check, not every month, but $6,000 more a year. And you break it down, and that shows the increase that God has given me over the amount of time. That it's just favor. It gotta be favor, and as well as stewarding over what he's given me already. I also had to get out of the poverty mindset. That was one of the things that was a mental thing I had to work on. That was a habit that, oh, this costs too much, or I got a penny pinch because I'm scared of where my next resources is going to come from. A part of the poverty mindset, I need to go get gas. My gas is almost on E. I used to be one of those people that I would never fill up my gas more than half. Half a tank was full for me. And if I was on a quarter, I was doing good. And I was going to wait until my car, the E light cut on, before I go get some gas. So whoever that's for, stop penny pinching, stop with the poverty mindset, and go fill up that gas tank. Y'all remember that gas shortage that we had, where everybody wished they would have filled up their gas tank? Because if you was one of the people like me in the past who had your car on E, and you went from gas station to gas station trying to find some gas, and you had to go to work, somebody was at risk of being on the side of the road. So that was for somebody, because I felt like I had to get back on here and say that. Because when I say poverty mindset, y'all probably thinking of material things like, oh, yeah, I'm going to stop buying cheap clothes and go get the expensive Gucci and Balenciaga. No, sweetheart, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stuff that you need. It's okay to treat yourself every once in a while and be like, okay, I haven't went out to eat in this amount of time, so instead of cooking tonight, I'm going to go ahead and buy out to eat. Or if you're a type of person who doesn't have a shopping problem, go ahead and get you that one Louis Vuitton purse or whatever it is that floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself out of that lack mindset that I have to always buy cheap, or I have to always skimp on stuff that I need, like my gas, because gas is too high. Or if it's a brand of something that works best with your body, whether it's food, hair care products, or whatever it is, I'm coming for somebody neck. I don't know who it is. Stop buying that cheap stuff that don't work for you. It's okay. Get what you need. God is going to provide for your taste. I'm telling you. I really had to watch a lot of sermons on like financial abundance and getting my mindset together and putting it into practice. So that way God can really trust me with the much. He gives me a little until he can trust me with the much. That's a Bible scripture. I just don't know exactly how it's worded, so I just paraphrase that. But y'all get the point. The key to the upgrade is in your mind for everything. Financial abundance, of course, God is in control of that. Everything internally that needs to be upgraded, God is in control of that. But the way he's going to work with you is going to start in your mind. And it sounds so cliche, but it's so true, y'all. Like, come on, let me over. Come on, Caddy. Cat Daddy. Thank you. I knew you was a saint. Bless you. Hallelujah. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, y'all, because this was not supposed to be 13 minutes, and I'm about to walk up in the store. I love y'all. Be blessed.